Welcome back to the shipyard. Today we're looking at peak performance, Redux, redo, round 2. Reason I did round 2, round 1 game was a blowout. So this features Todd on the left versus John on the right. Todd's fleet, rather interesting fleet. And, it's tough when players get in a rut, when they end up playing the same types of fleets all the time. And Todd is one who plays a lot of the same fleets. He plays Reman Warbirds a lot. And here he's playing Reman Warbirds yet again. So it's two generic Reman Warbirds, one with Goldika, one with Picard 9, both with Romulan helmsmen, both with interface generators. The thing was, we had blind boosters. Players got either a collective or a resistance is futile booster. Todd got the third wing attack ship, the Dominion booster. So with that, he got Gold Damar and Seskal, and that brought him to his 30 points. He was also using Copilot. Now, Todd got matched up against Craig in the first round, and as you are aware if you've been watching this channel, Todd v. Craig is something that happens a lot. So for it to happen in the first round, well, something went wrong or right. It's just part of life sometimes. Todd ended up losing that match. So, Todd maybe was something to prove. I don't know. I certainly, in Todd's shoes, would not be a happy camper. Now, John's fleet, you're already seeing it here on the board. Tholians. So we have Tholia 1 with Calvin Hudson. Wow, Calvin Hudson. Improved deflector screens, missile launchers, energy web. Of course, if you're running Tholians here, you're running energy web. Then we've got a generic Tholian starship. Come on, WizKids, give us Tholia 2, Tholia 3, Tholia 17. I don't care, just give us Tholia something. Chakotay, Quark, hiding Cloaked Mines. Yeah, bummer about Gold Damar there. EnterpriseA with Fleet Commander, Martok 8, Captain Spock. Good combo there. Not absolutely stellar, but a good combo. Leonalis, upgraded phasers. Saavik, Hood Riker, more than meets the eye. Good cards. I like what John's trying to do there. Then John got, probably one of the better boosters you can get, the Relora-Sankur, generic captain, the crew, and tractor beam. I think the crew is Teresa. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah. So you can see, I'm playing this video at like 150 speed, 1.5 times. It's something I've wanted to do because these matches will tend to drag on, and somebody had suggested, find the highlights. Well, I have a tough time finding highlights unless I'm playing in the match. And, trying to find the pivotal moments of attack wing games. You can think something's pivotal at a time, but it really isn't. And you can think some action is totally innocuous, but it really isn't. It turns out to be the game-defining moment. So, rather than let myself dictate what is or isn't important, I'm coming to you and saying, hey, here's everything. Yes, sped up. Yes, you're getting my commentary. But you're still getting every aspect of the match. And hopefully you'll see something here that is of benefit. No, I won't be giving you all of the play-by-play. I won't be giving you every single stinking detail. Every, oh, here goes the Tholian shooting at the Dominion. Because that's not what this is about. As you guys are hopefully aware, Attack Wing is more a game of ultimate strategy. So I'm going to talk to you more about what I see these players doing. I look at John's side right now. I see John, after having destroyed Todd's bug and getting points, John is starting to lay a web, getting Cloaked Mines on the board. He is setting hazards for Todd to have to navigate through. The beauty with Tholians in peak performance is as long as both ships are not destroyed in the same round, the web stays on the board. The web in total stays on the board. And that gives John a lot of flexibility to take advantage of that because he knows how lethal Scimitars are. Granted, generic, not named, but that doesn't matter. He's keeping his ships, his web layers, apart. I don't blame him for that. He knows they're not truly offensive. But he is trying to maximize their potential for disruption. Now, the Enterprise is kind of in the middle of nowhere right now. It's the ship that's getting attacked, or in a position to get attacked. He really needs to send it towards the camera, camera side of the planet, make Todd start chasing. One of the problems I've always run into when I play Tholians, and I'm by no means an expert playing Tholians, take this for what it's worth, I can't get the web out fast enough. I cannot deploy enough web to make it intimidating. And I think part of that is your opponent's never going to fly to your edge of the table. So why start off with one straights? I think if I start off with like a 3 straight, a 2 straight, a 2 bank, whatever the case may be, but something other than a 1 straight, I put myself in a much better position to be out and have the web in a position to create chaos. I could even see a strategy with running like Picard maneuver and the Tholians. Yeah, you're not dropping the web turn 1, but every turn after that, you are creating chaos. I also think you need something like lure or faked messages. You need that movement control. Thought Maker here would be very scary. I know those are discards, and in peak performance, discards are discouraged, but not impossible. They're just not where you want to go. Still, I think strategic use of discards, of certain discards, would have had a great use here in the fleet. That being said, it looks like John's Cloaked Mines are scaring Todd a little bit. He did do a come about with Ducat's ship. And it looks like Picard's taking things slowly. So the Scimitars are now going in different directions. That's a coup. That's that's getting Todd to split up his forces, which, you know, the golden rule of fleet formation is don't split the party. So I think John's accomplished one of his objectives going in. You know, the classic, like at the beginning of any sports match, you know, what are the keys to the game for each side? If John had keys to the game, it would be get Todd to split his forces. That would be one of his objectives. Of course, John had to turn the Enterprise into the Scimitar, not away from the Scimitar. That's a move where I think instead of doing a 2-turn, you do a 3-bank, you know, towards camera, as opposed to away from camera. Yeah, you're running, but the Enterprise can play cat and mouse. Scimitar's faster, but you still make the Scimitar come after you. So we'll see what happens. Combat, that's the thing, combat favors the Scimitar. 6 and 6 dice with the bug throwing 3. But in return, you're firing 4, 2, 2, and 4, maybe 5. It's combat doesn't favor John. No, combat will typically favor the highest number on the board. Not in captain skill, but in attack dice, especially if you have quality. And you got to know what you're up against. So you look at things, and that's one of those strategic calls that you have to make, and you have to be aware of it. You know, if you're not playing that warp jump game, which, hey, neither of these guys are, you got to go, okay, so what am I in here for? And to their credit, they're here saying, hey, you know what, we want to fight. We want to see what happens. And that's a dead Tholian, so points for Todd. But unless you can kill the other Tholian, we've got webs that are going to stay on the board. So we got a little bit of hostage exchange with the dice. Always important to make sure you get the right number of dice. Oh, more hostage exchanges. Todd trying to kill the other Tholian. Looks like he might have it. We shall see. And you know what, to Todd's credit, he is focus firing. He is picking his points and saying, that, I want to kill that. Where he's suffering is that he doesn't have a huge number of attacks. So even when he does get to attack everything, he doesn't have enough to finish things off. So, you know, John's hanging in there. And, but, you know, when you're rolling 3 dice at range 1, you're not hurting. You can't put the hurt on things. And, interface generators loom. And, I'm speaking of which, I'm recording this after the preview's been announced, and I am so glad to see the updated interface generator, and I fully believe that is a retcon to say that all interface generators going forward will be limit 1 per ship. So that is a personal belief. That is the sole belief of David Montgomery, not necessarily everyone associated with the shipyard. Just, you know, the belief of this cameraman, this audio speaker. So, you know, hey, we'll see what happens there. So, it looks like John did survive the round. So, the web lives on. Yeah, always tricky here with peak performance. You got to come back not within range. I think it's 1 to 2 of an enemy ship. And Todd has definitely pressed into John's side, which really does limit John's placement. With the Cloaked Mines where they're at, Todd's not wanting to come anywhere near those. So for John to actually be effective in where he's laying webs, messy. Messy. But you never know. If you can get your opponent to run over the web, that's a lot of dice potential. It's not the instant kill like in the Tholian web OP, but still, it puts a lot of hurt on. So that is what it is. It's one of those situations. This game can be tough. The scenario specifically, when you lose a ship, like Todd's bug here, it went around, and I don't believe it had combat, or if it did, it was at range 3. It was way out in the middle of nowhere. And if Todd were to lose another ship, it would start way out way. And, if he loses a Scimitar, it does a 6 straight, it's right back in combat. But there's something to be said about letting the battle come to you, and then reinforcements are on your side. I think that there would have been something cheekier if your opponent could have set your redeployment, grid. Maybe a range 2 by range, like a range 2 area, or even a range 3 area. Say, hey, here's range 1 to 3. You have to be somewhere in here, regardless of enemy ship position, and just say, hey, look, you're in this box. It would have been okay. And that could be against like any edge. And that's some benefit for destroying the ship. Maybe that's too much of a benefit. Maybe you pick a side. Maybe you pick the edge of the board, and then they pick the range 1 to 3. That could be okay. So Todd's done a come about, and I believe, there are Cloaked Mines doing shield damage because Todd was not cloaked. So, always a good thing to remember. If you are headed into Cloaked Mines with a cloaked ship, and you know you're doing it, just ditch your cloak the previous end round. Just don't risk a couple of crits. I've seen it too many times. I've been there too many times. Bad stuff happens. Just better part of valor. Just don't take the crits. It's, yeah. You gotta be smart about some stuff. Alright, so at this point we're about 40 minutes into the battle, give or take. I don't know. I don't have the exact times listed. We're 20 minutes into this video, but video time does not represent battle time. So the next couple of things to die will be the determining factors. As it stands, we're pretty close to even, but I want to say John's got a slight edge with that 30-point kill of the bug. Todd's kill is somewhere closer to 25, 28 right now. But John's taken a lot of damage on a couple of ships, and, well, Todd has Scimitars, which just don't really die. They can, but they don't. And, yes, here comes me TOing to save the day about range and go, nope, not range 1. So, yeah. Yay for my hand making a cameo in a video. So, it's always fun. Always fun to watch players roll buckets of dice. Especially now with Rule of 3. Like, seeing 6, 7, 8 dice come out, it's like, oh, hey, you're still doing something cool. So, yeah, John got a couple of hits in on that bug, but not enough to kill it. And, yeah, Todd's making some measurements with his Picarditar. Yes, the Picarditar, as opposed to the Ducatitar. Let's not call it that. Let's, as a community, just not go there. I'm sorry, I apologize for even starting that. Yeah. I think this is a dead Tholian. Yeah, no Tholian survives taking that much damage. Yeah, okay. That's a dead Tholian. And, as we all know, the only good Tholian is a dead Tholian. I do know that they have enough time for one more round. I don't know that that helps John. I really don't think that does help John. I think, if anything, that helps Todd. Ooh. Is that a shot in on the Enterprise? That might have been. I have had enough games being the guy who's done silly things with ships, and I don't know that I've run Tholians, but I have voluntarily taken a Tholian ship. I think that was in like Wrath of Khan OP, but I've taken like the 2 attack dice ships, 3 attack dice ships, and it's like your opponent goes, hey, so you can make your attack now, and they're like, there's this hidden like, okay, yeah, come on, do your worst, and you're like, yeah, I know, I get it. It's just like, come on. Yeah, that's a dead Constitution class for John, which does not help him either. John, you had such... Oh, and a dead Relora. That's... Oh. So Todd has, at some point, killed all of John's fleet. So we fast forward, and now John's deployed everything, has moved. Unless John can kill both Scimitars and not lose anything, this match is Todd's. So, no offense, John, but this match is Todd's. And, yeah, on that note, in any other scenario, it would be perfectly fine to, offer your resignation. But in peak performance, it's all about the points. So even in John's shoes, he is best served by going out, trying to attack, trying to kill the bug, get points there. That's another 30 points. That helps him in a tiebreaker scenario. And that's important for him because any of that can make the difference between, third and fourth, fifth. I don't know. But there's potential. And you want to be on the right side of that. And yeah, you've lost. John lost his first match, and he's probably looking at losing his second round match. But still, points are points. And anything you can do to get points is always going to be important. The game can be silly that way. But that is the way that it's built, at least right now. Is that for better or worse? I don't really know. It simply, at this point, it is. I think there's more than one way to measure this game, but the points you kill, or max points minus what your opponent has left living, it's as good of a measure as anything else. Obviously there are ways to abuse it, and that's another video. I've alluded to some of that, but it's, on some level, it's the spirit of competition. It's the spirit of good play, and it's the spirit of camaraderie, and it's also knowing what you can do in your local environment and what you can't. Because I tell you, if I ran warp jump gank every single month in Fremont, I'd probably get a talking to. Not because I was being overly competitive, but because I wasn't going back and thinking up new things, because I ceased being creative, and I'd probably drive a couple people away. And that's not good for anybody. Most people would, not like me. And, I'm not necessarily here to be liked, but I also don't want to have people go, "Oh, David, we gotta play that junk again." Because you don't want that. You don't want to be that guy. You're going to have a personal reputation. Especially when you're somebody who does YouTube videos. You're going to have a reputation for something. People are going to know you for who you are. I'd rather it be known for somebody who kind of has some fun with the game, rather than for somebody who is cutthroat competitive, gotta win every single match you play. It's life or death, and I'm never gonna let you take anything back. I'm never gonna... just on and on and on. I'm not that guy. There's a time and a place for that. That time and that place is a nationals, a worlds, regionals. It's the highest level of competitive play when we both know what we're in for. It's not meant for organized play when essentially we're having fun because it's probably the one time a month we get to play Attack Wing. So, I don't know. I'm kind of tangenting here, but it's the best I got. in a match that was over a round ago. So, hey, mercifully, it's over. Mercifully for John. So Todd won. No big surprise. 150 to 37. And that is all she wrote. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think of this different style. Again, trying things out, seeing if it works. We'll see. I'm always happy to try different ways of editing these videos. I've done different ways of editing these videos, as you know. So, I'm receptive to criticism and constructive criticism. Of course, that's the way we do things. So, again, thank you for watching, and until next time, we'll see you around the shipyard. Take care.